Good morning. Today is the 24th day of Kislev. Interestingly enough, in the Tehillim we say the Hallel, and it's perfectly appropriate as we prepare for Chanukah. This evening is the first night of Chanukah when we light the menorah. The appropriate time to light it is sunset, and of course, if you're in shul davening with a minyan, goes a little bit after that. That's okay too, and you can light it throughout the evening, so long as there's somebody up in the home. Okay, Tanya, we're on page 87 of Chayenu. Today we're doing an overview of, we're going to learn Perek Beis, chapter 2. And an overview of chapter 2 is as follows. Yesterday we spoke about the Nefesh HaBahamis. Really, there's a lot more that we could discuss, and we will, I'm sure we'll get to that. But today we're going to talk about the Nefesh Elikis, the second uniquely Jewish soul, which is literally a part of God. All souls are equally godly, just as in their descent journey, earthbound, some undergo more evolution than others. The souls of righteous retain their godliness more, hence one bonds to God more by bonding through the tzaddik. Huh? Oh. Okay, Perek Beis. Chapter 2. The second uniquely Jewish soul is truly a part of God above. It's not a part of God, it's mamish a part of God. The pasuk says concerning Adam Arishon, who is this general soul, in that Adam's soul contained all the particular souls of subsequent generations, that he blew into his nostrils a soul of life. And we say, we say in the davening concerning the soul of a yid, you blew it into me. The significance of the verb blow as it relates to the infusion of the Jewish soul is now explained. The Zohar says, he who blows from within. That's to say, from his inwardness, from his innermost being. When you speak, you just say words, and breath, air is coming in and out. When you breathe, air is coming in and out. Even when you blow, air is coming in and out. But when you, let's say, for example, when you blow a balloon, you take a deep breath. It's coming from all the way in the bottom of your lungs, deep, deep, deep down inside of you. And then you blow hard. That comes from inside of you, and it goes into whatever you're blowing into. When you do that, you're blowing with all your power. So this neshama comes from the innermost aspect of Hashem. So too, again, allegorically speaking, God doesn't take a breath, God doesn't blow, God doesn't have lungs. But allegorically speaking, Jewish souls have risen in the divine thought. A Jew has his source in divine thought, the innermost level of godliness. All other created beings, even angels, are rooted in and created by divine speech. Speech is external in comparison with thought. Just go turn that off. Turn the whole system off. It's written regarding the Jewish nation, Israel is my firstborn. By the way, and Nati and I were having this discussion yesterday. There's no reason to apologize. Righteous Gentiles of the world, Tzadikim Wasalem, as we discussed at the end of yesterday, know that the Jews are God's chosen people. We're the firstborn. First of all, it's a nice feeling. It's a wonderful thing. But it comes with tremendous responsibilities. The person's not Jewish and they're doing their job, great. But for the Yidden, we have 613 commandments, responsibilities. And it's not, we didn't decide this. We were chosen. God chose us, so we have to run with it. And we have to do it, and we have to accept it. And we have to embrace it. Banim atam Hashem lekeichem. You are children unto Hashem. Just as a child is derived from his father's brain, his inner and essential being, so too, again, in an anthropomorphism. Like, we're saying as if God has a brain, as if God's thinking. It doesn't work like that. But just for our sake and our purposes, the soul of every Jew comes from God's thoughts and wisdom. There's a fan mode there. Turn the fan on. The Alter Rebbe now takes this concept a step further. Deriving from God's thought and wisdom actually implies that it derives from God himself, as he goes on to explain. For he is wise. God possesses the quality of wisdom, but not with the wisdom that's known to created beings. This is not the kind of wisdom that you and I, this man is wise, this man is not so wise. That's not like that. With God, he and his wisdom are one. The Rambam writes an interesting way of looking at it. He is knowledge and simultaneously the knower. So he knows everything about himself because he is the knowledge itself. Who knows and comprehends through the knowledge. God knows and comprehends through the knowledge. And he is that which is known. God is also the subject of knowledge and comprehension, as Maimonides concludes. We could say these concepts and ideas, but to truly understand and comprehend them, I'll just speak for myself. It's a little beyond me. So this means that God's wisdom and comprehension are totally different from ours. In human comprehension, there are three separate and distinct components. A, the person's soul, the knower, and the possessor of knowledge. Then you have B, the power of intellect and comprehension, the knowledge itself, by which the person knows. And C, the subject of the knowledge, the known, such as the law in the Mishnah, or discussion in the Gemara, which is apprehended and known. So concerning God's wisdom, however, Rambam states that he is the knowledge and the knower and the known. God is the means of comprehension, the knowledge, and at the same time, it is he who understands the knower. And is also that which is understood, the known. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? Rambam concludes, and this is not within the power of any man to comprehend clearly. So if you didn't get what I just said, join me. I also didn't get it. And Rambam clearly states it's really impossible. We understand it in basic theory, but to truly understand it is impossible, because how could something be the knower and the known? It doesn't seem to jive. The pasuk says, can you find and understand God by searching? The more we think we understand, the more we understand that we don't understand as much as we thought we understood. That was a deep part. Can you find and understand God? And it also says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts. Once we figure it out, we realize, but it's not apples to apples. It's not even fruits to whatever. It's like an outer worldly, and don't even go like to outer space, because that's not what we're talking about. So since his wisdom is one with himself, as far as Hashem is concerned, it follows that the Jewish soul, which stems from the divine wisdom as stated above, actually derives from God himself. There's a gray box here, the part that I'm going to just skip over. The Alter Rebbe now addresses a difficulty arising from his previous statement. From his previous statement that every soul emanates from the divine wisdom. Since all souls come from one source, how is it that some souls are more spiritual than others? How is that possible? We all come from the general soul of Adam and Rishon. So true, there are myriads of different gradations of souls, neshamas, rank upon rank, infinite level of souls. Nishmais ha'avos, Moshe Rabbeinu aleim hashalim al nishmais dereseinu ele deikfei Mashiach. For example, the souls of our forefathers Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Moshe Rabbeinu, their souls were a much higher level compared to ours in these last generations before the coming of Mashiach. Ikvasa the Mashiach, which literally means the heels, the footsteps of Mashiach. Shemechinas Our souls are like souls. S-O-L-E-S, like the soles of the feet. Our souls are like the soles of the feet in comparison with the brain. So just as the life force found in the soles of feet cannot possibly be compared to the souls found in the head and the brain, so too there's no comparison between our souls, S-O-U-L-S, and the previous souls of the giants, the spiritual giants that came before us. Similarly, within each generation, there are people that have more spiritual tendencies and their souls come from a higher level. And then there are simple guys like you and me, or at least I speak for myself. Likewise, there are similar distinctions between nefashis and nefashis, the soul levels of nefesh. For each soul consists of nefesh, ruach, and neshama. So we see that there are different levels. Nevertheless, nefesh, ruach, and neshama kula miroish kol madreges ad soif kol dargin hamelubash beguf ami haaretz v'kal shebekalim. Nevertheless, the root of every soul, which includes the nefesh, ruach, and neshama, we're not going to get into the nuances of the different names of and levels of the neshama, from the highest to the lowest, all derive nimshach mimayach elyon shehi chachmei lakaviyachol. All derive, as it were, from the supreme mind of the chachmei la, the supernal wisdom. Awfully long today. I guess the Alter Rebbe knew that it was Erev Chanukah. We're trying to bring more light into the world. Number one, and number two, it's there's no work today, so no one's running anywhere. So I'll give you an opportunity to learn most of this on your own. But we're going to jump to the takeaway for today. And just before the takeaway, we'll add this one more point. So we're on page 98. The physical world, of which we talked about in the we skipped. You know what? I'll skip that part for now. Just adds a whole another layer and level, and giving the explanation of how a neshama comes about in a practical example of a union between a man and a woman and a baby being born, and where all of it comes from. The takeaway: your inner core is a divine soul. That's the essence. That's the true essence of who we are. So when somebody's acting inappropriately, or their behavior is abhorrent, you don't say you are disgusting. You say your behavior is not welcome here. Your behavior is not acceptable, because the true you is not expressing itself right now, which is what? Your godly soul. Your animal soul is running wild. Your animal soul is a wilde behemoth. The inner core of a divine soul is a part of God himself. So let a leader help you reveal and activate this divinity within you. We do what we can. We do what we can on our part. As the Mishnah says, a good friend is going to point out, this is not you. This is your animal soul speaking. This is your animal soul acting. Make sure your godly soul dominates. Make sure it's the one that judges your actions and your character. If you need more help, you go to Rav, a Mashpia. Make sure that you're acting through your godly soul and not allowing your animal soul to take charge. All right, that's it for today. Don't forget to fill in the blanks on page 94, 95, 96, and 97. All right, have a good day, Chevra. And don't forget to light your menorah, light up the world with the flame of godliness and help bring Mashiach closer. Take care and Freilich Chanukah. Happy Chanukah. Morning, Aiden. Happy Chanukah.
Happy Chanukah. See if you have a blue up set of that.
Salam says hi.
Hi. All right. See you later.